Hi guys, Thursday night again. This is Todd from Table Ready Painting. Tonight, just wanted to take a little break from the painting stuff, and because we've been doing it the last couple nights, I am making a lot of progress on those orcs. I'm really moving forward, getting a whole lot of stuff done. But what I really wanted to do, I'm sure everybody knows by now, the balanced data slate and the field manual came out this week. So it's kind of a tradition here. I like to go over the points and some of the stuff that changed and maybe how they're going to affect your games. I'm sure there's tons of people that have already run over all this stuff, but I kind of want to put my take on it, just like I always do. So if you're new to this channel, I'm Todd. We do a lot of painting videos, a lot of Warhammer 40K stuff. We do paint other models. I do talk about Star Wars, which is another passion of mine, and we do, just kind of some D&D stuff and stuff like that. But the primary focus, of course, is always Warhammer 40K. So what I wanted to do before I get into anything, I had a pretty busy week this week. Work has exploded. So I actually am one of those people where I just haven't had time to dig into the balanced data slate. So this is literally going to be a first take for me. So I'm going to try to go over everything and get a good handle on what I'm looking at. If you know from being here, we do play a number of armies, and I'm going to apologize right now. My wife has guests upstairs, so they're up there giggling and carrying on. So if you do hear some random people in the background, it's okay. I'm all right. I'm not under duress of any kind. So I just want to let you know. So the armies that we play in this household, the ones that I'm probably going to put a little more focus on because they affect our household a little bit more. I play Dark Angels. I play Eldari. I play Thousand Suns, Astra Militarum, and of course, with 11th edition, I've dove into orcs. So those are the main ones that I focus on. When it comes to the boys, my boys, Logan plays Blood Angels. He plays vanilla Chaos Space Marines, if that's a thing. So basic Chaos Space Marines, undivided Chaos Space Marines. How about that? And then, of course, Tyranids. Michael, of course, plays Tau, Necrons, and Death Guard. So we do have a lot of armies in the household. And I just wanted to let you know, if there's a faction that I don't give as much attention to, it's because I don't typically deal with it that often. Not that I don't care for. I'm also a big Space Wolf fan. And of course, as always, we go over regular Space Marines. So what we're going to do, we're going to just dive into this. Again, a lot of this is my first initial reaction. I just didn't get the time to focus in on all the stuff that's going on. So I'm just going to bring up the site here. And of course, everybody's familiar with this. Bring up the page here. Organize my stuff for some reason. Okay, perfect. So we're going to start with Adeptus Sororitas. We're just going to go down the list. And of course, really just going to hit the ones that changed. If there's something you want to add in while you're watching, please do so. I have no problems with that. In fact, sometimes I like the take of somebody else that's watching, just so that I can, as you know, as a player, as a gamer myself, sometimes I'm just not thinking of that combination, that usefulness, whatever the case may be. So what I do have here, not a lot of points changed in the beginning here. They do sacrosanct change just for your third plus units, 85 to 160. And I think that's not up from a whole lot of points. 75, 150 for your first couple. Not a big deal. I don't know anybody that's really playing 3+ units of sacrosancts. But I'm sure there's people out there. Your Dominion squads did get a little cheaper. That's fun. I like that. Um, take it down 10 points. Love it. If you're playing Dominion squads, that's amazing. Your Hospitaller, same thing, down 10 points. It's good support unit. Yes, definitely a support unit. I just realized that they actually added the support in there, and I'm sorry. uh, so the Imagifier, I don't even know what this unit does. So, but they get 10 points cheaper. We're going to have to work on that. There's a couple things that I want to get in there and learn about. Immolators are down 10 points. That's fantastic. I think that's the first time the fourth immolator that you choose is down 5 points. From 150 down to 115. So I only have one immolator. I guess I should say that I have Agents of the Imperium, but I have not played them. I haven't even finished putting them together, to be honest with you. They kind of got backlogged because I had other stuff to work on. Intransia Frey, down 15 points to 135, and Junith. Junith is pretty cool, down 10 points. I'm not upset about that. Morven Vol went up. Amazing miniature. I'm not sure that 15 points is really going to push her out of playability, but I'd have to weigh it out and see what it looks like. Repentia Squad's actually in good shape. -5 for 5 models, but -20 for 10 models. The 10 models was way overcosted, so that's definitely a good improvement for the Repentia Squad. Your Seraphim squads all got cheaper. There's no loss on that, that's for sure. Down 10 points for 5 or 10 points for 10. So 75 and 150. And they went up they're only just a little bit more when you go third plus. So kind of cool. Me, if I wanted to play Sisters, I'd definitely play a lot of Seraphim. So I'd be happy about that. Novitiates are down 10 points. I don't see a lot of them in the meta, so I'm going to just say yeah. Or at least not in my meta. The Rhino got cheaper, down to 65 points, but went up for 4 or more. It's fair. I never see more than 3 anyways, so I'm going to be happy with that. Seraphim, same thing. They went cheaper for the first and second. After that, they got a little bit more expensive. So all good there. Nothing I think that's really groundbreaking. Bringers of Flame. Oh, so they changed priority assets. They actually got DP changed. Okay, I didn't catch that. That's kind of cool. So they're 2 DP, 2 detachment points. That's a lot better. Priority assets. Penitent Hosts, Purge the Foe. They got a couple of changes. Actually, Penitent Hosts got a lot of changes for their enhancements. So, Psalm of the Righteous Judgment, down 10 points. Refrain of Enduring Faith, down 10 points. Catechism of Divine Penitence, down 5 points to 15. I think they're all fine. Definitely, if you're playing Penitent Host, you're definitely going to like it. Penitent Host is not a huge one that I've seen floating around, but it does happen. Custodes is one that is not in my bank at all. It's actually one that I would like to kind of add to my group of armies, factions out there, but I really just don't know a player out there, and I don't know that I want to invest in them myself. So anybody that wants to play Custodes against me, just reach out and we'll definitely talk about that. Alea down 10 points. And the Rhino, down 10 points, and that's going to be a theme across all the rhinos. I think all the rhinos went down 10 points across the board, but went up for the fourth and more. I think that's okay. The wardens all went down in price. That's definitely an improvement. I think they're still a little costly, but they are really, really tough. So, again, I don't really know, really not sure how to balance them out properly. The Venatari custodians down 10 points or 20 points for 3 or 6. After your third, they go up in price. And then if you include that Venatari Lance, it's up another 5 points. Kind of fun, nothing super exciting. I don't know that it really hurts them. Detachments, I think, are all good. Lion and the Emperor, I don't know, whatever that's called, the Adam Mortis, up 10 points. I can't say I'm real familiar with it, so I'm sure somebody was abusing it if it went up 10 points on just an enhancement. The other one was in the Shield Host, from the Halls of Armories went down 5 points to 20. I think that's fair. That's definitely an improvement for them. Mechanicus. What do we got in the Mechanicus? I'm not sure that there's a lot in here, to be honest with you. The Hastari Exterminators went down 10 points. Actually, in both. Went down 10 points for your first two, went down for 3 or more, all 10 points. 105 for the first two, 120 for 3 or more units. The Iron Striders, Ballistari, the 3 model choice for the units went up. And I think that's kind of fair because, they are abusable if you get too many of them. The Cataphront Breachers went down for the 6 model squad. I think that's doing 6 models. 6 models of Cataphrons is tough. I don't know that 6 models of Breachers is 310 points tough. So I don't know that you're going to see 6-man squads of those all that much, even with the 10-point drop. Cerberus Raiders, 6 model squad, down 10 points. Not a huge deal with that. Definitely improvement. I think you'll see more 6-man squads just because they're a little cheaper, but they're kind of like almost like a skirmisher unit for them. So I don't know that, the 6 model squads are going to really shine. And then your regular Vanguards down 5 points. They're still 85 points is just in that weird zone for them. I wish they were just a little bit cheaper, but I know everything that they do, and they're kind of near that sweet spot. It's tough. They're a tough unit to really balance out. So I think you'll be in a good shape. They're same as the Rangers now. So I think that just deepens your decision on which unit you want to play. But the nice thing is you could probably just balance out. Let's try Rangers. That didn't work out so well. How about 1 unit of Vanguard? Maybe 2 units of Vanguard? And then see where the sweet spot is for you. Dune Riders went down for the first and second and third. Sorry. And then the fourth and more, that's your transport there. So 75 points or 85 if you could really go deep into them. And I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's pretty much it for Admech. After Admech is Eldari, and of course this is one of my armies. Autark went down 10 points. Love to see that. 75 points. He's still kind of expensive compared to other leader units, but he does fit in with a lot of different things, and he does buff a lot of units. I think 75 points is good. I mean, I thought 85 was all right, so I'll take the drop. Autark Wayleaper, which is the one with the wings or jump pack or however you want to model it. Cheaper than that, and I think that's fine because he only goes with Swimming Hawks or Warp Spiders, and his ability is not as good as the ground one, just in general. Avatar Kane went down 15 points, and I just finished mine, so he's going to hit the table probably next fight I play. And at a reduced cost of only 250 points. So we're excited about that. Sky Reavers, Corsair Sky Reavers, down a couple points. Again, that's one of them that I would like to say that I really know, but I don't have the models. On paper, they don't look fantastic to me. So I'm not really in love with it. So, but maybe for 75 points, I might start considering it. 140 points for 10. We'll have to look into it. The Voids cards, I like them a lot better. They are a little cheaper, strangely enough. Farseer went down 5 points to 65. So we can talk about this for a minute because to me, the normal Farseer is really cool. And then right now, you can add a Farseer to a Warlock Conclave and add them to a Guardian unit, Guardian Defenders, Storm Guardians, and it makes a really big unit, and a pretty large block to move or to shift for your enemy. But the Farseer is kind of underwhelming in general, which is a shame because I've always leaned into Farseers. I've actually got 4 Farseer models altogether, and I have a Farseer Skyrunner as well. But I really wish they were just a little bit better, considering they're supposed to be the pinnacle of psychic power in the universe, or at least for the Eldar, and this just a psychic trap. So I wish they were better, but I don't like without bringing back the different powers, and actually like bringing back psychic powers as a total. I don't know how you make Farseers better. So I feel like they've kind of got really damaged by 10th edition and not having real psychic powers anymore. That being said, they're not great. They're not bad. Again, the combo is amazing with the Farseer and the Warlocks and the Guardians. It's an amazing unit. It is a little bit of points, so I'm hoping that they kind of work that out. But we're going to try that on the battlefield for 11th edition. I think Eldar might be my next battle that I play because I really want to fill them out. Farseer Skyrunner, which this baffles me as well because I don't understand how that thing's so cheap, except that Wind Riders really aren't that prevalent in this edition so far. My Eldar of choice or Eldari of choice is Samhan, so I actually really like the jet bikes. But 10th edition, they brought back the Aspect Warriors with a vengeance. So I guess I'm leaning into Aspect Warriors at this point. As far as regular stuff, Fire Dragons didn't change. Janezar, Karseth hasn't changed. Lycus hasn't changed. Lycus seems so expensive, but man, does she do work, Phantom Titan hasn't changed. Shining Spears actually went down in price, which is kind of amazing because they are a powerhouse in the army. But I think the last data slate, if I remember correctly, raised their price and they kind of dropped off. So, 100 points for 3 models is really tough to deal with. but Shroud Runners got a little bit cheaper. I think that's a balancing thing, not a huge deal. Swooping Hawks for 5 models got 5 points cheaper. I don't think that's really one way or the other. Love my Swooping Hawks. There was an edition in 40K that I haven't played them. So Warlock Skyrunners, they actually went up in price. And I think that's the balancing part of the Farseer going down. They lowered the Farseer to raise the Warlock Skyrunners. I don't know. I just don't know. Warp Spiders, they got cheaper for 5 models. For 3 or more units, they went up. I'm okay. I like Warp Spiders. I feel like Warp Spiders have lost a little love for me. I like the amount of damage that they do. I like all the stuff that they can handle, and the damage that they can do. But oddly enough, they're just not the powerhouses they used to be. It seems like every edition since second edition, they've just kind of like dropped a little bit. I do like their flamers now, but I don't like that they're not armor penetrating like they used to be. Warwalkers. Warwalkers are 2 models is cheaper than 1. So you're going to start doubling up on them. I can see that. Most of the time I do it anyways. I have 4 of them. I will run, if I'm digging into Warwalkers, I run 2 sets of 2. If I'm just dabbling, I'll do, 1 unit of 2. Wave Serpents got a little bit cheaper for 1 model and 1 or 2 models, 1, 2, or 3 models, excuse me. But 4 or more, they are actually went up. 125 for your 4th one. Again, that's one of those, like, I see the sweet spot, maybe 2, 3 if you're really trying to be super mobile. But the problem is, in most cases, like, your Wind Riders are 80 points for 3 or 170 for 6. So you're not going to have all those Wind Rider bikes floating around to soak up some of that Wave Serpent fire. Wraith Knight went down 30 points, dipped back under 400 points. So I'm happy with that. But of course, your second one will bring you back up to over 400 points. The Wraith Knight with the Ghost Glaive, 380, 400 for the second one. Again, they went down 25 points. They need just a little bit more, a little bit. Bring that Ghost Glaive just a little bit cheaper, just a little bit. And I think you're going to see a ton of them. But maybe that's why they're not. Maybe that's right where they're at. Harlequins pretty much got across the board. Everything got cheaper. Theory on that, I just don't think they have the staying power in general. Again, amazing punch. I think they do everything you want them to do. But the staying power, the reality staying power just isn't there. So your Death Jester, 10 points for the Shadow Seer, 10 points for the Sky Weavers. Star Weaver went down 10 points. Your basic troops all kind of stayed the same. Inari Raiders down 10 points, not a huge deal. The Inari Venom down 5 points. It looks like transports across the board pretty much got some deductions. When it comes to the detachments, I don't think anything changed. No, nothing's changed in there. So that's Eldari. All right, we got to move a little quicker here. Astra Militarum. A lot of cool stuff here. Your Bane Blades went down in price. I'm kind of curious. And this is going to be a hot take. I heard a rumor that they're removing them from the store. And and I guess I could have checked that out. I probably should check that before I started. But I've heard rumor that they're removing them to the store. They are here and they are dropping costs, which is kind of interesting. But I wonder if that means there's a new kit coming out. I'm hoping so. Last thing I need is another big Bane blade to paint, but I could use a standard Bane blade at some point. So anyway, I did, 35 points for one, 25 points down for everyone after that, or 20 points down for everyone after that. That brings most of the Bane blades, so right around 400, a little bit under, a little bit over. And we'll see more of that. Kitty and Command Squad down 5 points. It's okay. It's not groundbreaking. The Centaur, love the Centaur. This is such a cool little model. I'm so glad that they brought that out. Again, transport went down a little bit in cost. I'm okay with that. Same with the Chimera. First 3 went down in points. After that, went up. It's still. Oh, okay. So Jeff says they're being reboxed, removing a screw but increasing price by a few bucks. Okay, there's your answer. But I'm glad they're really putting some new stuff out. So transports are cheaper. I was going to say, I think transports across the board. I think they're trying to encourage some transports, but not all the transports. Yarrick's 10 points cheaper. Haven't got him on the battlefield, so I can't really tell you. Again, Bane Blade variant down 35 points. And actually, Hellhammer down 35 points, 25 points for multiple. Kasserkins. I'm happy with the Kasserkins, down a couple points. I still got to finish painting my first squad. Says kit's coming with options for 4 sponsons, removing 1 sprue, so only 2 sponsons in the new box. Okay. I could see that being a little cheaper then. And hi, Jeff. How are you? Krieg Command Squad down 5 points. So it looks like all the command squads went down. Lehman Russ Commander went down 20 points to a nice, comfortable 215. I think if you're running 3 commanders, it's tough. I do like the Demolisher Cannon on the Lehman Russ Commander. That would be kind of cool. But it's not something I've tried yet. Your Demolisher itself, the Lehman Russ Demolisher, went down 10 points. Most of your other Lehman Russ tanks stayed the same. What else do we got here? Tempestus Command Squad. This is the only one that actually, if you're running 3 or more, went up in price. All the other ones stayed the same. I don't see a lot of Tempestus going on in the battlefield, so I'm surprised that kind of hit. Shadow Sword got cheaper, Stormlord got cheaper, Storm Sword got cheaper. Again, all Bane Blade variants. Looks like they're going to rebox that and charge you a little more money and give you a points discount to help you out. Tarks, again, they got the deduction for being a transport. Aquilans went down 5 points. I'm okay with that. Your Science 10-man squads went down 5 points. I don't think that's going to make a big deal overall. As far as detachments, I don't remember seeing anything specific, and we're just going to roll through those. Yeah, nothing there. All right. Black Templars, big hit, should be a little shorter. Grimaldus went down 10 points. The Ancient went down 5 points. The Emperor's Champion went down 10 points. Execrators went down 10 points. It's a good time to be a Black Templar player. High Marshal Helbrecht went down 10 points. Impulsors went down 10 points. Again, transport and went up for 4 or more. Your regular Marshal, if you're running 3 or more, up 10 points. Repulsor Executioners went up 10 points. Okay. I wonder if that's probably across the board too. Aggressors all got cheaper. Love that. I don't know anybody that doesn't like their aggressors. And and a lot of this, I'm sure we're going to run over again when we get to Space Marines. Oh. Dark Angels, Space Wolves, and Black Templar can only take 3-man squads of Inceptors now. I didn't catch that. Well, we didn't get there yet. Eradicators with heavy bolters went up a little bit. That's because they're freaking awesome. Yeah, Inceptors are only 3-man squads. I wonder if that's a typo or if that's just a new thing now. I mean, I have 3 with bolters and 3 with plasma guns, so I never really leaned into them. We're going to look when we get to Space Marines. I think that's pretty interesting. The Inferno squads, 10-man squads went up 10 points. That's because 10 Flamers in a group is kind of scary. It definitely carries more weight. The Land Speeder went up 10 points because, of course, it did. Normal Space Marines and Blood Angels can still take 6-man squads. Lieutenant with a combi weapon up 10 points. Razorback went down and up. Rhino went down and up, just like all the other transports. Storm Speeder Hammer Strike got more expensive. The Suppressors went up 10 points. And they were always only 3-man squads, though, I think. Okay. Vanguard Vets all went up in price for Black Templars. And as far as detachments, your Gladius Task Force Artificer Armor went up 10 points. That's because that was being used a lot. Ironstorm Spearhead went up 10 points. And I think we'll probably avoid some of these as we move forward since there's a lot of the same ones. Stormlance. Vengeful Hosts. I don't know if they went. That says they're red, but I don't see where they went up. But Avenging Angel, 20 points. Orcbane's 20 points. All right, so that's Black Templar. Let's see if we can. So let's check Blood Angels. I know there's going to be so many. Yeah, regular Space Marines. I don't want to hammer through this again. Aggressors. I'm going to scroll down here a little bit. Drop pods, we did those. Eradicators, we did those. Yep, Inceptors, 6 models. Down, up 5 points, up 10 points. Interesting. Inferno squads. Land Speeders, Librarians. Oh yeah, there were no Librarians in Black Templars. I'm like, God, I didn't see that. Combi weapon went up. Razorback down and up. All right, so we're going to skip through this. Stern Guard Vets are up 10 points for a 10-man squad. That's the Hammer Strike went up. The Suppressor Squad, they're only 3-2 as well. That's good. And going through here real quick, just going to hit the high notes again. Gladius Task Force, that's up. Legacy of Grace. Nothing changed. Librarius Conclave. The Fusillade went up 5 points. Temporal Corridor went up 10 points. I could see those because they're both really good. And then Vengeful Hosts was the same. So that's it for Blood Angels. Blood Angels didn't get hammered too hard. Chaos Demons, the one faction without a codex for 10th edition. Your Beast and Nurgle went up 5 points. Blood Crushers went up 10 points for 6, all the way around for 3 or more units. A lot of no changes. Fluxmaster went up 10 points. I could see that. Fate Weaver went up 10. I'm sorry. The Fluxmaster went down 10 points. Sorry. The Kairos Fate Weaver went up 10 points. Lord of Change went up more. I can see it. I don't like it, but I can see it. Skalaxy Hellbane up down 25 points to a comfortable 315. I think you'll start seeing her again. And that's pretty much it for them. The Scintillating Legion got some changes in war gear, but pretty much happens every balanced data slate. So we'll jump through that. Chaos Knights, this will probably be pretty quick. I don't even know if there is a change in here. Chaos Knights or Dog Huntsmen went down 5 points, and Stalkers went down 5 points, and I think everything else stayed the same. So that's quick and dirty. Again, we don't really. Logan's got some war dogs that he's got modeled up for his Chaos Space Marines, but we really don't have it as an army. Regular Chaos Space Marines. Abaddon's up 10 points, and I see why. Accursed Cultists, if you're hammering out a bunch of them, they got more expensive. And they're pretty tough. The Chaos Lord with the Jump Pack, I think he's cheaper because he only goes with Raptors. Could we please have a Chaos Lord that goes with the Warp Talons? I know it might be overpowered, but good Lord. That would be so cool. Just love to have some crazy Chaos Lord with Warp Talons. Predators went up 10 points all the way around. Rhinos we've handled. It's all the same. Terminators got a point drop. Basically 1 each. So 5 for 5 or 10 for 10. Chosen went up. Chosen are a beast. Even still. 10 models at 270 points. They are a very tanky unit. So I can see it. The Dark Commune, nobody's running 3 or more units of Dark Communes. I'm not sure why that's there. Defiler, interesting to see that they really kind of spaced this out. 300 points for the regular one. Everyone after that is 340 points. And then, of course, some of the weapons that you can take with it also went up in price. Fabius Biles, a solid 100 points, and I think he's good if that's what you're playing into. Huron Blackheart up another 10 points. Yeah, I think they're just eking him out of play. Masters of the Maelstrom also went up 10 points, which a lot of times if you're playing Huron Blackheart, you're going to play those Masters of the Maelstrom. So you're really getting a double tax there. Mutilators got cheaper for 3 and got cheaper for after your third one. Nemesis Claw all got cheaper. I think they needed that. Not that they needed it, but I think that was a good choice. Red Corsairs Reeve Captain got cheaper. That's exciting. Vashtor got more expensive. I don't know anybody that plays Vashtor, so I don't, all the Space Marine units out there, I just don't see it. Venom Crawlers got more expensive. I can see that. As far as the detachments, anything big here? No. Oh, wait, hold on. Soulforged Warpack. The Tempting Addendum went up 15 points. I'm not sure of that one. I don't. Logan doesn't play that one. But I might have him kind of brief me on that one, why that one went up 15 points. I'm going to assume it's pretty aggressive. We're going to skip Titan Legions because they don't really fit in normal play. Dark Angels, Deathwing Knights if you're playing 3 or more, went up. I'm fine with that. Inner Circle Companions for 6-man squads got cheaper. But I think that's okay because I think they're balanced out. I don't really know why they... let me rephrase that. I'm not 100% sure why 6 models needed to be more than double of 3 models, but they are kind of nasty in combination with other characters. So I can see it. I don't know anybody that plays 3 squads of them, though. So, but if you do, good luck with that. I'm happy with that. Landspeeder Vengeance went up 10 points. Again, I saw a lot of them in play this edition, coupled with the Dark Age Arsenal. I get it. Lion went down 20 points. I'm okay with that. Always glad with that. 265. Nephilim Jet Fighter went down. Still don't see a lot of flyers, so we'll just take it and go. Ravenwing Command Squad down 10 points. I'm good with that. Ravenwing Darkshroud down 10 points. Samael went down 10 points to a very low, under 100 points. Really want to take a stab at running him again. Not going to go over the basic Space Marine stuff. Let's go all the way down to detachments. Detachments. No point change there. Sentinels. Dark Age Arsenal, like I said. That's great for 1 DP. I'm hoping they never change that, but I think there's always that possibility. Artificer Armor, of course. We already talked about that. The Flesh is Weak. I don't remember that in the other one, but I guess it's there. Librarius Conclave. We talked about that. The Lions Blade Task Force Stalwart Champion went down 10 points. That's good because I think it was not getting used anymore. And I think that's it for Dark Angels. So they did okay. Death Guard. I know there's a couple things that changed. Death Shrouds got cheaper at a 6-man squad. They're 305 points now for 6 of them, 160 for 3. I'm okay with that. 3's nice to play around with. 6 is like amazing. If you've ever played with them. The Filers, of course, changed in price. We talked about that. Mortarion, the big man himself, went down 10 points, so now he's under 400 points. That's kind of awesome. Plague Marines at 10 models went down 10 points. I'm okay with that too. I see most people playing the 5 or 7 region anyways. So 10 points. Maybe we'll see change. And then nothing super exciting here. So there's tons of adaptability, as you know, if you combo some of these things together, of course. We're trying to stick with the basics. Death Watch. Let's see if there's anything in Death Watch. Nothing in the basic units, so we're going to skip all the basic Space Marine stuff because we've talked about all of that again and again and again. Go down to detachments. Anything changed in here? I'm sorry for the quick scroll, but if I don't do something, we're going to be here forever. Death Watch is clear. Drukhari. Let's see. Anything change in Drukhari? Raiders, transport tax, or cost, or whatever you want to say. They're reduced at the first 3, increased at the 4th more. It's pretty much across the board. I'm loving it because I like to transport. So just going to say it again. Ravager went up 10 points. That's fair. Your Venoms went down 5 points. Again, they're transports. Nothing big to see in that. Emperor's Children. Rhino, of course, changed. Defiler changed. Fulgrim down 10 points. 340. I could see that. I'd be happy with that. Lucius down 10 points to 120. I could see that. I'd be happy with that. Maulerfiend went down for them 10 points. I'd be happy with that too. I like it. Sorcerer went down 5 points. I like that too. And then Shalaxi went down, like we talked about in Demons. So that's all. Basically, Emperor Children got a win there. They really didn't have anything that went up except the Defiler. Gene Stealer Cult. Aberrants all changed, down 10 points each. Or 10 points for 5, 20 for 10. And then same thing for 3 or more. Acolyte Hybrids with Flamers, down 10 points for 10 models. The Jackals went down in price until you get to 9 models. Is there something I'm missing here? Why are 9 models more expensive than 10 models? I'll have to figure that out. Again, that's not one that I see. Gene Stealer Cults is not one that I see in my normal group. So Goliath, transport. Metamorphs, cheaper for the 10s. Hybrids, cheaper for the 20s. Pure Strain Gene Stealers, 5 cheaper for just 5. And that no matter how many you put in there. The Saboteur, once you get 3 or more, they went up to 80 points. And everything else looks clear with them. Grey Knights. Grey Knights are like the Forsaken faction at this point. Grey Knights and Demons. I guess they want to keep them on balance. But Grey Knights, 10 Terminators got cheaper by 15 points. And Grandmaster Valdis got cheaper by 15 points. So that's all in good shape. Other than that, obviously transports. Strike squads actually got cheaper, 5 points cheaper. That's worthwhile. And that's pretty much it for them. Imperial Agents. So I have Imperial Agents. I haven't really built Imperial Agents. I really want to get more Assassins for Imperial Agents. And, you know, Eversor Assassin went down in price. I'm happy with that. Grey Knight Terminator Squad. I would add this unit as soon as they make new models for them, because I think that would be cool. Rhino changed. Nothing changed, or changed just like all the other ones. The Chimera changed just like all the others. Immolator, same thing. And then the Deathwatch Kill Team went down 10 points for the 10-man squad. Your Eversor Assassin. Why are we? Oh, okay. These are just all the ones. So we're just going through this again. Sisters of Battle Squad went down 5 points. Watchmasters down 10 points. And nothing really changed in the detachments till you get to the Veiled Blade Elimination Force. Everything got cheaper. I mean, it looks like everything got a lot cheaper. I'm going to have to look into that one because I don't know that one off the top of my head. Veiled Blade Elimination Force. So we'll look into that. Maybe we'll make a note of that and we'll handle that next week. Imperial Knights. Doesn't look like much has changed here. The Knight Castellan actually went up in price. Everything else seems about the same. The Castellan is $425. Excuse me, I need a drink here. $425, $450 after the first one. And then Nothing else changed. So that's all good. Leagues of Votan. Beric Stornbow, sorry. 10 points down. The Iron Master down 5 points. Bury went down 10 points to 85. Transports Sagittar 85 points, 95 for fourth or more. Armored Trailblazers, the saturations rounds went up 5 points to 15. I don't think that's going to make a big difference. And that's about it for them. Moving right along, Necrons. Connective Reanimator, up 5 points to 75. The Chronomancer, your first one is 70 points, down 10. Your second or more is 80 points, down 10 again. Doomsday Arc went up 10 points. Your Locust Destroyers, only if you're doing full squads do they go up by 10 points. And Locust Heavy Destroyers, same thing, up 10 points. Necrosar Amatar up 10 points. I can see that because everybody abuses the heck out of that poor guy. And then the Scorpec Lord up 10 points for your third or more. Tesseract Vault is actually up 20 points. The Silent King's actually up 20 points as well to 420. And then that's pretty much it. As far as detachments, nothing super exciting. No, nothing's changed. Orcs. I bet your orcs changed a little bit. Let's see what we got in orcs. And I don't know how big they're going to be fighting with orcs, considering I'm sure orcs are going to be coming out in not terribly long. The Big Mech Dockerig is up 15 points. I could see that because that thing's kind of nasty. Shock Attack Gun is at 70 points, 80 for more than 3. Boys. Boys are getting attacks for being bigger mobs. I don't know how I feel about that. My thing is you're really losing that knob in every squad. I don't understand why they'd be more expensive. But then again, 20 boys in a pack is definitely hard to push. Gretchen, all in the red. So 45 points for 10, 45 points for 10 Gretchen and a Runt Herd. 20 Gretchen is 80. Runt Herd gives just 5 points more. And 20 with 2 Runt Herds are 90 points. The Mech up 10 points to 55. Pain Boss up 10 points, and I can see that too. Pain Boy, again, same thing, up 10 points, and I can see that because the rules are around him. Transport, War Boss is up 10 points. I can see that. War Boss is pretty tough, just in the games that I played. And then Equatorial Hordes, everything's 25 and 25 for your enhancements there. And then everything else, I think, is pretty standard. All right. Space Marines. Do I even need to go? Let's see if there's characters in here, because that's going to be the main part. Let's just breeze through here real quick. Drop pods, the same. Eradicators, Impulsors, Inceptors, Infernus Marines. We talked about all those. Land Speeders, Librarians. Oh my. Lieutenant with Combi Weapon. We talked about him. We talked about the Razorback. Sorry, I just wanted to look at something real quick. Stern Guard Vets up 10 points for 10 man. Hammer Strikes up. Suppressors up. We talked about all that. Vanguard Vets went up. Okay, as far as characters, nothing in the Imperial Fist changed. Iron Hands didn't change. Salamanders didn't change. Raven Guard didn't change. Ultramarines. Ooh, Ultramarines are getting taxed, brother. Captain Titus up 10 points to 100. I think still worth playing. Cato Sicarius, he's actually pretty decent. So an extra 10 points will probably balance out how much you see him. Tigurius, again, I think Psychers kind of just got beat up the last two editions with no psychic phase, no psychic attacks. No unusual psychic attacks, I should say. I think they're just kind of beat up. But I do like Tigurius, 10 points cheaper. He's even better. Marnius Calgar up 15. Gilliman up 15 to 355. Euro Ventress up to 105. Vitrix Guard, same thing as the Inner Circle Companions, up 10 points. Kind of reasonable. Wardens of Ultramar up 10 points. I kind of see that too. As far as White Scars, the new captain is cheaper by 10 points. And then we talked about Blades of Ultramar, the Armor of Antonius, or whatever it is, up 10 points. I could see that because it was cheap at 10 points. Your Gladius Task Force we already talked about. Some of these other ones we already covered. So that's all it. That's Space Marines. That was pretty quick. Space Wolves. Arjak went down 10 points. I love that. I like Arjak. Iron Priest went down 5 points to a impressive 50. I'm kind of happy with that. Logan Grimnar went down 10 points. It's hard to believe that the Chapter Master is only 100 points. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he is like a pinnacle of models on the battlefield. In fact, I'd like to get one just to paint it up with the wolves, and chef's kiss as far as models concerned. I really like that model. Najal went down 10 points. Ragnar went down 10 points. And Wolfguard Terminators, after your third unit, went up in points. Maybe about 15 points, not a big deal. Wolf Scouts are actually cheaper. I'm good with that. And then all the Space Marine stuff. So I noticed a theme when it came to Space Wolves. It does look like all their named characters, kind of, not all of them, but a good portion of them became more playable. And I think that kind of leans into the saga of the Space Wolves and all that. So I'm going to say bravo to Games Workshop for that, for Warhammer for that, because I think that's the way Space Wolf should be played. So it's really nice to see that they kind of lean into that. And don't get me wrong, Space Wolf heroes are pretty awesome. So nothing really big in detachment. So, all right, a couple more to go. Tau Empire, right? Tau Empire broadsides. If you're running 3 models, got more expensive in either case. Commander Farsight actually got 10 points cheaper. Again, that's one of those models. Like, it's such a huge, impressive model, and to see it only at 70 points, I feel like they just need a rules update to make the guy better instead of a point drop to make the model cheaper and in balance. But that's just me. Devilfish transport. Ghost Keel went up in price for 3 or more, and you're also paying for the Cyclic Iron Raker. Hammerheads up 10 points. Nothing I wouldn't imagine. Pathfinder teams up 5 points, and they're to 85, and they are 100 for your third and following. Riptides went up 10 points. That's fair. Storm Surge went up 15 points. That's fair. It's a lot of guns. Twin Lance just went up 15 points. Boy, my kid's going to be upset about that. He just bought them. But I still think he'll play him. Tiger Shark up 50 points. And then as far as detachments, Retaliation Cadre went up to a 3 detachment point. I can see that. That's one of those I can definitely see. Good job on the balancing on that one. Thousand Suns. I promise I won't go on too much longer. Just like in Chaos Space Marines, the Predators all went up in costs. Rhinos got the transport deal. Defilers all went up. It's everything we talked about. Scarab Occult Terminators, when you run 10 of them, they went up 15 points to 385. That's kind of pricey. I'd almost just run 2 5-man squads at that point. Yeah, 100%. Sekitar Robots, up 5 points for 2, 15 for 4. And of course, they're a little more expensive once you get to the third one. Sorcerers, 85 points for your first one, 95 points, or first and second one. 95 points for the third or later. I can see that. Sorcerers are good. The Sorcerer and Terminator armor is good. Zengor Enlightened, 50 points. I'm all right with that. Zengor Shaman, 65 points. I'm okay with that. Kairos went up. Lord of Change went up. We talked about them before. The Hexwarp Thrall Band went up to a 3 detachment point. I can see that. It kind of needs... If the Grand Coven and the Rubrikai Phalanx are 3, the Hexwarp probably should be 2. Everything else is the same. So what do we got left? We're going to skip Titan Legions again. Let's go into it. Titan Legions. Okay, nothing changed. There you go. Proved a point. Tyranids. Let's see what we got in the Tyranids. There's scary bugs that are crawling all over the place. What do we got good? It looked like a lot changed. Maleceptor got 10 points more expensive. Neurotyrant got 15 points more expensive. I'm okay with that because I don't like that thing. Toxicrene went down 15 points. Tyrannocyte got the transport deal. Von Ryan Sleepers went down 5 points. That's pretty awesome. Zoanthropes went down 10 points for 3. Interesting. Sorry. And then Vanguard Onslaught, the only one that changed is Hunting Ground, so it went up 10 points. I think Tyranids made out okay. World Eaters. Angron, 20 points cheaper. Predators are all cheaper. Interesting. Only by 5 points, but Rhino tax, or the Rhino deal. Chaos Terminators all went down in price. Defiler went up after the first unit. And of course, all those weapon options went up in price. 8-bound got cheaper. Love 8-bound, so I'm kind of excited about that. Exalted 8-bound got cheaper. Love that, so we like to see more of that. Forge Fiend got cheaper. Again, I'm not going to keep repeating it. I think that's all good. Corn Berserkers got cheaper. Lord Invocatus got cheaper. Lord on the Juggernaut got cheaper. Mauler Fiend got cheaper. It is a good day to be a world leader. As far as the Blood Legions, your Blood Crushers went up in price. And Butchers of Corn, Gorstein Veteran upgrade went down 5 points to 20. And that's it. Oh, no, I'm sorry. The Vessels of Wrath, the Arch Slaughterer went down 10 points to a solid 30. But I think it's probably worth it if that's what I'm thinking of. So that's it. That's the field manual. After all that, we can work into the data slate maybe next week. Maybe get some time to actually run through some of the stuff that worked and got improved as far as the rules. But to be honest with you, there's a lot that went through, and you're probably all sick of hearing me drone on about points and stuff that happened, how points change and how it's going to affect your armies. So I think I'm going to quit it at this. I hope everybody has I missed a couple here. Let me jump back on some of these comments that somehow I missed. Defilers, ouchie, but they deserved. It's fair. Huge buff for the assassins and the assassin detachment. Yeah, that's the assassin detachment. Okay. The Agents of Imperium, the detachment that went up was the assassin detachment. So that's about it. Thank you for commenting on all that, Jeff. I appreciate it. And then that's about it for today. We're going to dive back into next week. We'll probably be painting again. We'll see if we can get Logan on to throw some paint. I got a couple things that I'm finishing up, so hopefully we'll have it done by next week. And we'll see what happens. So I'd like to thank everybody for watching. If you do enjoy the Warhammer content, please step back. We're here every Thursday, roughly around 7:30. Whether we're painting or talking about the game or whatever, we always do a live on Thursdays when we're available to. As if you're more interested in Star Wars stuff, you can check out Bounty Hunting Across the Galaxy with Todd and Ken, where we talk about things Star Wars, a lot of costuming, cosplay, and the shows and how we feel about the stuff that goes on in Star Wars universe and outside of Star Wars universe. And then remember, if you're interested in role-playing games, Dungeons and Dragons, and sometimes Warhammer, you can check out Lakeland Legends, where 2.5 years ago I taught the boys to play Dungeons and Dragons on YouTube. So we dove right in and made a campaign, and we've been running it since. So we are in a long-standing campaign with their original characters from that. And that's usually Sunday afternoons, sometime right after lunch. And if you interested in any of those, links are down below in the description. So you can like those. And just remember, if you're watching this, like the video. It costs nothing, but it helps everybody see this video, my videos, more often, and gets it out there better so we can do more stuff with it. So yeah, that's about it for tonight. Thanks everybody for watching, and we hope you have a fantastic week, and we'll see you next week. Bye.